Link A is about igneous rocks. The term igneous comes from the Latin ignis, meaning fire. Igneous is often used to describe rocks that crystallize out of hot molten material in the earth called magma. When magma pushes up through Earth's crust to the surface, it is called lava. Both magma and lava cool and harden to form igneous rocks. So my first question is, the term igneous comes from the Latin ignis, which means fire. What is the difference between magma and lava? Magma forms deep within the Earth's crust. Lava is magma that is outside of the Earth's crust. You can pause the video if you would like to copy the answers. Okay, intrusive versus extrusive. Igneous rocks can be classified into two main categories, intrusive and extrusive. A trick to help kids remember intrusive and extrusive is to think of intrusive inside and extrusive exit. Intrusive rocks come from magma. They cool slowly deep in Earth's crust. When magma cools underground, the crust acts like a blanket, insulating it, keeping it warm longer. Because the magma cools slowly, crystals of different minerals have time to grow. The molecules in the magma have time to arrange themselves into crystal formations before the magma hardens. Intrusive rocks have large crystals that can be seen with the naked eye. A common example of an intrusive igneous rock is granite. So back to your worksheet. Intrusive, it's formed by magma. It's formed inside Earth. Remember, intrusive, inside. And the texture, it has large grains, large crystals. You can see the different parts with the naked eye. Okay, let's find out about extrusive igneous rocks. Extrusive igneous rocks come from lava. Lava at the surface is exposed to air and water, which causes the molten rock to cool rapidly. Solidifying rocks at the surface cool too quickly for large crystals to form. Molecules in the lava do not have time to arrange themselves to form crystals. Extrusive rocks have crystals that are too small to see without magnification. A common example of an extrusive igneous rock is basalt. Some extrusive rocks, such as obsidian and pumice, cool so rapidly that they completely lack crystal structure and are considered a volcanic glass. Pumice is just like obsidian, except it is tiny shards of glass. Okay, let's see. We have extrusive, and it's formed by lava, and it's found outside Earth. And it has fine, which means small grains that you can't see without a microscope. Okay, you can't see them with your naked eye. Okay. Texture. Within the two main categories of intrusive and extrusive, rock can be classified even further using texture and chemical composition. The word texture has nothing to do with how the rock feels. Texture in geology is used to refer to the size of the individual mineral crystals. As mentioned above, intrusive igneous rocks, such as granite, have large individual crystals visible to the naked eye. The textural term used to describe a rock with large crystals is coarse-grained. In contrast, fine-grained rocks, such as basalt, are igneous rocks that have crystals too fine to see with the naked eye. Under magnification, they are still very small, but easily identifiable with a few optic tests. Quickly cooled lavas can contain trapped bubbles of gas, which are called vesicles. The resulting texture is described as vesicular. We looked at a piece of basalt in class yesterday, and it had little holes in it from the bubbles. Chemical composition. Chemical composition of igneous rock can often be estimated just from looking at the rock. Geologists look at the proportions of light-colored and dark-colored minerals in an igneous rock to estimate the chemical makeup of rock. Light-colored or felsic minerals have more silica in them. Silica is one of the most abundant means that we have the most of it, elements on Earth, and is the chief component of quartz. Felsic minerals are most often colorless, white, gray, or pink, but can be any number of colors. The dark or mafic minerals are richer in iron and magnesium. Mafic minerals are chiefly black, brown, dark gray, and sometimes green. The mineral proportions of the rock are what allows geologists to classify rocks chemically. Depending on the proportion of light minerals to dark minerals, igneous rocks can be broken into 4 main types: felsic, intermediate, mafic, and ultramafic. The following list gives more information about igneous chemical categories. And if you're interested, you can look at this information. But basically, you just have to know that felsic means light and mafic means dark. And I'll give you a helpful hint to help you remember that during class. This is Site B. On Site B are a bunch of fun facts about igneous rocks. Igneous rock facts. Enjoy our igneous rock facts for kids. Find interesting information and a range of examples that help explain what igneous rocks are and what makes them different from other kinds of rocks. Igneous rock is formed when magma cools and solidifies. It may do this above or below the Earth's surface. Remember that magma is below the surface and lava is outside of the surface. Magma can be forced into rocks, blown out in volcanic explosions, or forced to the surface as lava. The atoms and molecules of melted minerals are what make up magma. These atoms and molecules arrange themselves into mineral grains as the magma cools, forming rock as the mineral grains grow together. There are over 700 different types of igneous rocks. Examples of igneous rocks include basalt, granite, pumice, obsidian, tuff, diorite, gabbro, and andesite. Basalt forms the metamorphic rock granulite when subjected to extreme heat and pressure over time, which is called metamorphism. Granite is a common rock that contains at least 25% quartz and is sometimes used in construction because of its strength. Pumice is an unusual lightweight rock formed when molten rock is rapidly blown out of a volcano, forming bubbles as it quickly loses pressure and cools at the same time. Obsidian is a volcanic glass that forms quickly without crystal growth. It can have very sharp edges, making it useful as a cutting tool or arrowhead. Tuff is a rock formed from volcanic ash. The upper section of the Earth's crust is made from about 95% igneous rock. Okay, so now we're going to look at our worksheet and see what kind of information it wants. So it says for Site B, we're here, according to this site, how many different types of igneous rock are there? So let's look back and see what it said. Okay, so let's look for the number of different types of igneous rock. And if you skim this area, you will see there are over 700 different types of igneous rock. So over 700. How does pumice form? Let's see how pumice forms. It says pumice is an unusual lightweight rock formed when molten rock is rapidly blown out of a volcano. forming bubbles as it quickly loses pressure and cools at the same time. Okay, so it's formed when lava blows out of a volcano really fast, cooling and forming bubbles. And number 6, the upper section of the Earth's crust is made of what percent of igneous rock? So let's look back and see where it says percent. Let's see. Right here I see a percent, but this says granite is a common rock that contains at least 25% quartz. So that's not quite what I'm looking for. Let's see. Oh, here's another one. It says the upper section of the Earth's crust is made of around 95% igneous rock. So let's put that in as our answer since that's the question it was asking. 95% igneous rock. That's what the Earth's crust is made of. Oh, we have an extra percent there. Okay, so I'm going to stop this video and you'll move on to the second video for Site C.